All right. So we are joined here by head coach of the Portland Thorns, Mike Norris. We're just going to go ahead and start off with questions. All right. Who wants to start us off? We got Ryan Clark here in the front. You guys can just pass the mic around.
Will do. Hey, Mike. Obviously, coming up on the home opener for the team, what's the general feeling around the group? Obviously, probably a lot of excitement for the team at this point.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best word to use is excitement. I think we come out of the pre-season tournament in a good spot. I think we had some doubts physically where we were at. We definitely worked through some tactical adjustments and things that we need to clean up, but yeah, I think we came out in a good spot. We've had a good week of training so far, and everybody's just excited to get back in front of the crowd, and yeah, it's going to be a good day hopefully.
And the contract for Reina Reyes is something that's still in the works. Are you able to speak to the status of that at this point? Is she going to be available for Sunday?
I would hope so. So it's very close. I think we should have some availability for her on Sunday, so read between the lines there, but yeah, should be very close.
For sure. And those tactical adjustments that you talked about for the team to make coming into this year, are you able to speak to that, kind of what those adjustments looked like for this group?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you saw the second half against OL Reign in the third game of the tournament, that's probably who we are trying to be. So I'd say a little bit more front-footed in defending and attacking. We probably were a bit too safe first half in the attacking. So hopefully we can just get people more stretching behind midfield lines, behind the back lines. But yeah, I think just in the defending front when we do lose it as well, trying to win the ball back a little bit quicker is somewhere we're trying to get towards.
Mike, good to see you. The team's been through a lot. They won the championship, and then they've been through so much. But it seems like they've really stuck together with great camaraderie. What would you say the mental frame of the team is going into the season?
I think it's a space where I'd be really happy to be in now, knowing where we were before we arrived for pre-season. We just weren't sure how the group would arrive in. There was a lot to sort of acknowledge and address. The group went towards that, staff included. Had some tough conversations. We put the soccer to the side because it wasn't important, and it's still a work in progress. We're still growing through a lot of the events that have happened. But yeah, I think the players are in a good spot where I think they feel safe, they feel ready. But obviously just the context of who they are and what they've been through is still there.
And for you as head coach, I know you've been with the team for a while, but how exciting is it for you to be in charge and the season's ready to roll here?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sat here. This is nerve-wracking, but it's exciting as well. I think it's pretty cool, I think, just to embrace that part. At the same time, I'm just trying to keep it as normal as possible in terms of my game day approach, how I keep myself ready for me to perform, to be ready for the players. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, I think, to be back in front of the home crowd again after the championship win. To feel that again is going to be pretty cool and exciting. But at the same time, we've got to get on task for what's coming for this season.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
Can you just describe what the anticipation is like for you? I mean, you've had to go through the off-season, you get named head coach, and I'm sure there's part of you that just wants to get to playing.
There is, but there's a part of us just actually wants to take a breath as well. I think if I rewind probably 8 to 10 years ago, I'd have been itching, but I think I'm really just ready to let the game come, let kick-off time come, and just really try and take it all in and make sure that I'm ready to perform for the players as well, because I think it's important they see the same me as last year, because if they sense any difference, I think it will have an influence on them. So yeah, I think I'm eager, but at the same time I don't want to rush it, and I want to embrace the next couple of days, even embracing this element of what we have in terms of being a head coach in this league.
And can you describe expectations? I know they're always so high with this club, but now going in, what are expectations for you?
Well, winning, I think, is pretty simple. Expectations, I think, is for myself and the group to show up in terms of who we want to be is important. We're hoping that'll be enough to take care of results to get the winning part of it. But yeah, I mean, we've spoken pre-season about winning better. So that's really, if you like, an objective. We want to just be better every day. If that means we win, great. But we know if we do get better from where we were, we've got a good chance of being successful.
Mike, just being outside and seeing the weather and the field and the stadium, it's nice to have good weather right now, and this place really is a special place to play, isn't it?
It is. I'm not sure what time you showed up here, though, because it was pretty miserable at 10 o'clock. It was snowing. Yeah. Listen, it was true Pacific Northwest weather today. Like, we set up in what was sleety snow. We came out to partial sunshine. And then I said to the assistants there, I said, watch when we get into some of the set play work, it's probably going to rain again. And true it did. But yeah, I think like the slick service in front of the crowd, yeah, I mean, it is a special place. I still remember my first competitive game last year. It was pretty heartwarming.
It's really sunny right now.
Well, hopefully it stays that way.
How do you see Natalia Kuikka's role in your team? I mean that do you see her just in fullback, or could you think that she could play also in central defender like she plays in Finnish national team?
I think she's got the qualities to play at centre back, but we don't see her playing there for us. I just think how her ability to get up and down the field as an outside back is important to how we play. She's a fighter, she's got an engine to get her up there, and she's got the attacking qualities when she gets in around the box to produce crosses, to link with players. So that's where we see our strength.
Anybody else got a question? All right, we'll go to Fluke, and then we'll go to Ryan.
Hey, Mike. What are the keys for you, in your opinion, to get 3 points against Orlando on Sunday?
Start from the first whistle, I think. If I look at our 3 pre-season games, I wouldn't say we started poorly. We started fairly well in terms of 2 of the 3 games in the first 15 minutes. Be looking for that kind of start, just a performance over 90 minutes, not 45s. I think the more minutes we can play over them, the better. And I do just think it's a bit of belief for what we take from a pre-season tournament, just some of the doubts around some of the new principles and tactics we've put in. And then just from a physical standpoint, I think there was doubts there. So I think hopefully the players can take belief from that and truly step on the field from that first whistle and show up who we want to be.
And what does this Orlando team do well, in your view, just looking at that group?
I wish I knew more about them, to be honest, Ryan. Listen, I think like Seb came in last year. When we played them here, they were in a tough spell. I think our game against them here was a bit of a turning point for them, because they went on a stretch of games, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 games where they had some positive performances. And when we played them in Orlando, I think they played OL Reign the week before and they conceded late. I think that probably knocked the wind out of them. But I think, yeah, if I knew more, it would be great. But I think they'll be continuing the work they did last year. They've obviously had a couple of strong draft signings. So, yeah, we don't know what to expect. We expect probably a hungry team that's got nothing to lose. If I put myself in their shoes, coming into our stadium, national champions, it would probably be the best first fixture they could ask for.
Right, go to Veronica here in the front.
Hi, Coach. How would you describe your playing philosophy and how do you implement it with the team?
How do I describe my playing philosophy? I think I like to be like a forward approach, not direct by any means, but I think I like to use the side of the field versus the middle of the field. I'll exploit the middle if it's there, but definitely preferences on flank play. Creating opportunities, being efficient in the attack is definitely that. Tight defensively in our half is something to pride myself on. But I do feel in the attacking half just being a little bit more front-footed and aggressive, I think, is who I am. And also, well, it's a bit of me, but I definitely think it's what the team is as well. I think finding the balance between my philosophy and in our group and what they want to do and what they're good at is important.
And how do you keep the team motivated and focused throughout the season and in difficult times especially?
I want to say it's easy and it's hard at the same time. They're a very self-driven and motivated group, just naturally. During the hard times, they want to be on the field. It's their place where what makes them happy. I would just say where I feel I motivate them is just keep challenging them and like small nuances in terms of their games. Like, they're very talented individuals. I think it's just trying to eke out the little, ask them to play on 2 touches instead of 3 when they can. But I think it's just the challenge interactions every day is hopefully the motivation that we bring, and I think as a staff, just the energy and the excitement that we have for the game, hopefully that rubs off on them.
And last question. We know that you have 2 Latinas in the team. How do you see in the future? Do you think there is more opportunity for diversity?
I hope so. And it gives me an opportunity to practice a little bit of my Spanish. It's not very good, but I try and interact with Rocky in the morning, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think when you look at how they both play, they bring a different element in terms of sort of their upbringing and just their personalities on the field. And like Reina, when you look at her just as a fullback, she's tough in the tackle. Yeah, I hope we can have a bit more, but yeah, it's exciting to have the 2 of them in the group.
All right, we'll take one question more back here from Joe.
Mike, I was just going to ask you how important it is to have Christine back this year. When she announced she was coming back, everyone was so excited. And how important is she still to this team?
Yeah, very important. I think very exciting as well in terms of just our leadership, and a figurehead for the organisation and the club is key. What I would say with Sink is she's come in like hungry, like a 21-year-old draft player into pre-season. She's fit. Yeah, she's very driven for the year ahead to have another successful year on the field for both the Thorns and for Canada.
All right, any other last questions for Mike? All right, we'll go back one more to Fook.
Hey, Mike. Crystal Dunn has had a pretty dang good preseason. Do you see her strictly as a midfielder or possibly as a right winger or a left winger as well?
Midfielder would be it. I've had a couple of conversations with Crystal in terms of where I see her and where she sees as her strengths. Midfield would definitely be for us. I mean, the way our attacking midfielders play, the link with the wide players quite a bit. But I don't necessarily see Crystal as a wide player in the front line. Definitely more of a midfielder who can play in the pocket and break the lines and connect with their fullback and their wide forwards.
All right. We'll wrap on that question for Mike, and we appreciate your time, Mike, and we'll have the players here shortly.
Thank you.